Welcome to Motherhood, Aligned and Assigned, where we help guide mothers from symptoms to solutions.
We're Dr. Serena Coffman and Dr. Veronica Schiltz, nervous system specialists helping families discover the missing link in their wellness journey.
Join us as we translate complex health challenges into simple, actionable solutions for you and your children.
Because your family deserves to thrive,
not just survive. We are so excited to finally be bringing this podcast to the world. We saw a gap in female motherhood, chiropractic, and overall health and wellness, and we're so excited to bridge that gap through this podcast. So, one, thank you for being here and tuning in, because we couldn't be here without you all. And two, I do think we have a really fun journey that we're going to take you guys all on. So, I thought I'd introduce myself. My name is Dr. Veronica. I practice in Ankeny, Iowa. We are the leading pediatric specialists in Ankeny for chiropractic care, and we're going to get into why that is in this podcast. And if you want to introduce yourself, Dr. Serena.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Serena Coffman. I'm in Boise, Idaho, and we are not the only pediatric PX experienced docs in Boise, but I have my own little spin on things. So I think you guys will learn about that as we go through the episodes.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that. That's kind of cool.
I think there's 3 of us here.
In
at
Boise?
Least. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of
Well,
fun.
one of them's in Eagle, but that's literally 10 minutes from my office. So
Got it. Yeah, we are like, I think the next closest PX-ish office is like 30 minutes away. So
nice.
Yeah. But anyways, well, I just thought we would like chat a little bit about the why behind the podcast and just kind of share with you where our thoughts were. We are both moms. We are both business owners, and we do a lot of things together in the chiropractic space. We understand that our lens on chiropractic care specifically is different than most because we have that, background as a mom, as a chiropractor, and as a business owner. I actually also run a coaching business, and we talk about nervous system there too. So it's just really going to be cool to see how we kind of bridge the gap between if for those of you who might be on here who are business owners, I'm sure most, if not all of you, will be moms. And you'll kind of get to see how chiropractic care fits into your specific lifestyle and your kiddos' lifestyle through this podcast.
Yeah. What inspired me to reach out to you about this, there's so many times I'm explaining a concept to a parent and it's like, gosh, I wish I had 30 minutes to talk to you about this because they want 30 minutes to talk about it with me. And so to be able to direct them to me talking about this more with someone else who has clinical experience and is seeing the same types of cases but different brains approaching these concepts differently is so exciting. Yeah. And so I'm excited when a parent says, okay, well, how is chiropractic going to impact the brain for ADHD? Like, I got you.
Yes.
We'll briefly touch it here, but then here's a link and dive in, right?
Right. Yeah.
No, I love that. Because
so
many moms, like, you're the ones, you guys are listening, you're desperate for information and you need to listen to it like on the go and dig into like, who the heck is Dr. Serena or Dr. Veronica before you even touch foot in our office, right? Like you're all doing your homework and ready to come in educated. And we love that. And we're here to serve that. So
yes, and amen to that. And I also think it's cool because I hope you as a listener also understand that oftentimes when someone gets a doctorate degree, I feel like it's like they've reached the epitome of education, but that's not always true, right? Like I think that you can do, there's not a lot that we actually learned in school. So this is also, I won't lie, like a conversation that we had that you're going to hear pretty soon talked about like EMDR, right? And I'm still referencing that conversation because I learned so much from what Dr. Serena brought to it. So it's like we're learning, we're continuing to grow, we're continuing, and you'll kind of get an inside like view on what we do inside and outside of our office to continue to be able to be well equipped for you, which I hope brings a little peace of mind because it's like we're not just getting, one piece of information one time and going with it. It's like we're also doing our research, and it's just nice to know that you have providers near you who are as passionate about research and figuring out as best as possible how to approach certain situations, just like you're out here doing your research. It's no different.
By the way, Veronica, you said we didn't learn very much in school. I would say we learned so much in school, but we didn't get to dive deep into what we're talking about here. But so listeners, she's saying that like things we learned in school were not enough. But I promise you we have really quality doctorates.
That's true. Thank you for catching that because I think in terms of this specific topic, we did not learn
Right.
a lot,
Yeah.
if anything,
This could be
about
a
this
whole
kind of care in school.
master's. Yeah. This is probably
Oh, yeah.
enough credit hours of continuing education to be a master's, I feel
I
like.
thought about
But
that. I agree.
yeah.
So thank you for that correction, because we do have a very well-rounded. I think I was just in trauma mode the entire time we were in school, that I just like just kind of
No, I
delete
didn't
that area.
even. Good for you, because I didn't catch that. By the way, listeners, so Veronica and I were about a year apart in chiropractic school. We both had babies in school around the same time, our first kiddos. And so we were in the mother's room together a lot, like nursing babies when we could bring them with us, pumping,
Crying.
crying, laughing, about spilled milk, like all of the things, and like figuring out how to be moms, like nursing moms, let alone, and wives and students who are showing up and like tuning in on our skill set, like the art of chiropractic, and doing all these extra things. And then Veronica, I'm coming to learn, is like over here hustling and like putting together coaching programs. Like, how did you have the capacity? And then, yeah, anyways, so we go way back. And I think I remember seeing you put on one of the knee cow seminars. And I was like, girl, how did you get in with a knee cow seminar? And at that point, I was like, I'm going to work with her one day. We're going to do a
Oh my
seminar.
gosh.
We're going to do something. I like you a lot. And so I'm glad we're finally here doing that.
Oh, I love it. I'm like blushing, because I feel like that was such a lifetime ago. But it's so cool. Actually, I feel like we were also on a call, right? Talking about how cool it is to be in spaces of people who are just doing like next level stuff. So like no
Yeah.
matter, I don't know if you're a business owner, or I shouldn't say just a mom, or if you're like the most important job in the world, right? Mom, or, a fellow provider tuning in, right? Just know that just by you being here, you're like in the space of people who just seek and want to be a part of more. Because I remember my own mentor, Dr. Jody. It would be so cool to have her on this. I was listening to her on the PX podcast.
And she's a mom now.
Yeah, right? I know. So she was that for me. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, you're so cool.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's actually.
Yeah. Dr. Haley Reisinger, Dr. Mary Phipps. Yeah. I have a list. Yeah.
But it's so true that when you are in a room of women who are doing big things, it like gives you permission to do that too. And so that's also kind of, I mean, that's not the goal of this podcast, but also kind of is, right? Like when we're talking about nervous system regulation, we're talking about the potential and the capacity that you have in your life and how it expands when you are getting chiropractic care in that way. And so we'll see that kind of trickle into everything that we do. Like we don't just settle for okay, or for they'll grow out of it, or for, good is good enough. We go above and beyond in just about every aspect. And I'm super excited because you also were like my mentor. I'm like blushing because I remember just thinking like Dr. Serena was the student that was on it. Like she was like, she had a baby and then came back, and I was like, tell me how to be a mom, I'm scared. She was like helping me through that. So yes, I think we have both benefited from each other, and I hope that we benefit anyone listening as well.
Well, cool. That was a little fun hype session. Okay, some people are going to ask, what's the name mean? Motherhood, aligned, and assigned. So motherhood, we're both mothers. Aligned, you get adjusted frequently, right?
Yeah.
You have like a good yeah. I'm adjusted once or twice a week, depending on the season and how many stressors I'm experiencing. So we are aligned neurologically, and then we're aligned in our goals with each other and with our businesses. Thank you, Dr. Veronica, for aligning me and my business with your coaching program. It's another plug. And there's so many ways we're aligned. And then assigned, we're both believers, and we feel that we've been called to this, not only profession, but then to step up as leaders in our profession and reach out to moms and other providers in this field and body work and in neurological regulation. I feel like we've been called in many ways. So that felt perfect for both of us.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I want to add to it is that we are both moms, but we also have such a heart for moms. Like we understand, and you'll even hear this in other like future episodes, how important for a mom to walk in her alignment and her assignment for the next generations to come. Fun fact about me, I used to compete in pageants. And it always comes up when I talk about stuff like this because I remember there was always this running joke of like, I don't know if anyone is familiar with pageants, but there's always like a question that you get asked by a judge. And it's like, I just want world peace, right? And we were always told like, never say that. Like, that is just not, like, that's a joke. But genuinely, I'm like, I seriously see taking care of moms as like a little step towards that direction of world peace, because if you have a mom walking in alignment, walking in her assignment, no matter what that looks like, you're just going to also have a whole family dynamic that is, you know, it shifting toward that direction. It's just very hard to have a mom, especially mom and dad too. Like, we totally believe that, you know, the roles in the family are important, but from one mother to the next, it's like when you are a mother operating in your alignment and your assignment, just amazing things happen.
Yeah. That reminds me, I was recently listening to a podcast of another chiropractor explaining her journey of getting to taking care of moms and babies. So I remember when I came to intern in Boise for the practice that I bought, Dr. Dillon was like, okay, what kind of people do you like seeing? Like, what's your jam? And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know yet, because like every female chiropractor is like, oh, I take care of moms and babies. I take care of moms and babies. I'm like, that's so vanilla. Like, every white girl is going to take care of moms and babies. And this, gosh, I can't think of her name right now. She's a really cool chiropractor. She was talking about that. She was just like, wrote that off. She's like, I want to do something cool because everyone else has got moms and babies covered. And then coming into PX and realizing, no, this is like, moms and babies are the foundation of health. And it's not just some vanilla, like, cute thing we're doing because I like babies. Like, babies are good. I'm not the girl that's obsessed with babies, but I am obsessed with, I love toddlers, but I am obsessed with giving babies the best foundation and nervous system so they don't become sick kids with ADHD, anxiety, those kinds of things, right? I'm fully obsessed with that. And then taking care of the mamas so that as they're growing their babies, one, they're a firm foundation for their family, right? When in doubt, take care of mom first, and then help mom regulate so she's creating healthy kiddos. And that is like way cooler than just adjusting like moms and babies in this like basic level of pain-based models, essentially, right? Like making sure ligaments are even and balanced, like cool, but making sure their nervous system is regulated so future generations can thrive, like that's cool. And that's where I'm at.
That is so crazy, because I actually didn't want to be a mom and baby chiropractor either in school, though. And I didn't fully make the transition until I had Dr. Mary adjust me in my home birth with my first, that I was like, this is where my new life's mission is.
Yeah.
But I will agree, there is this like, I'm like, oh, there are, and I said I'm the first PX doc in Ankeny. There's like so many, I mean, even a couple doors down, probably we have a chiropractor who specializes in moms and babies, right? So it's like, there is a difference. I'm glad we brought this up, because that's one thing that we should probably even make a whole episode about, right? Is like, what makes us different, because there are a lot of amazing chiropractors who are seeing moms and babies, but they're limited and they're stopping at the superficial. And we get to go a layer deeper. And I won't lie, when I was in that pain, because I interned for a doc who was in that pain-based kind of model. I couldn't find the direction I wanted to go with what I wanted, because I didn't even know it was a thing yet, right? And so when I worked for her, I was like, honestly, I don't even care to see the babies. Like, just give me the moms and someone else can adjust the babies. I was like, not like, I mean, I love babies and kids, you know, but I didn't care to see them as a provider. I wanted the moms. But then we got into this pediatric experience and I was like, oh my gosh. And so the results and the miracles that are taking place, even in my office, and I'm sure in your office and, you know, any PX doc office you go to, that is what makes it worth it. Because like me and my friend Lauren, we're in tears, because like there are kiddos who we are seeing who would have walked. We have one kid who was going to be type 1 diabetic, and you're going to hear about his story, but like he would have been labeled as type 1 diabetic. They basically, his specialist said, well, we're going to wait until his blood sugar tanks enough to put a type 1 diabetic monitor on him. And we have kids who would have been diagnosed with ADHD, with autism, with like, they just would have walked around their entire lives with this diagnosis, which nothing wrong with diagnosis, but to walk out of that and know that that's not even the journey they're going to go down because of this care is just like, I'm giving myself chills thinking about it. So it really is, when you get to the nitty gritty of what the work that we get to do is and what God is doing in these offices specifically, you can't help but just be in awe of it and want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's so big that I'm like, am I even doing this? Like, do I even have to be good at this? Or is this God just using me as a vessel? Which my practice name is vessel, right? So I was like, surely I am not that good at chiropractic, right? Like, surely that's not what's happening. And this is just like how God's tapping in. Because things are just incredible.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's too, I think it's those who were called, I mean, at least I didn't realize how much effort and work we put into it until I like interviewed a doctor, and I was kind of telling her like, oh yeah, and then you got to get the certification, and then you got to do the continue in, and then we have a meeting every Tuesday. And I was like, this kind of a lot. So I do think it's a combination of like, it's like God does miracles, but you have to say yes, and you have to show up, and you have to be ready and willing to like facilitate, right? And so I think that's kind of where, I never want to downplay that we did say yes, because I was literally just like, the things that are happening in this office are crazy. Couldn't have no way that in my own strength I could have made it happen. But I do think there's this like gifting that I want every listener to listen to. Like, what is your gift? You have one too. You have something that God has gifted you with, and all you need to do is say yes and show up, and he will literally do the rest. And so yeah, we'll do like prayers and things, but just want to let you guys know that we are very much faith-based in walking with Jesus, because that's the only way that we'd be able to make this happen. So
literally the only way we'd be able to be moms and wives and chiropractors, owning our own businesses, and like with the capacity to, because I pray every single day almost like, Lord, bring me the people that you believe that I can handle, and like the volume that you believe I can handle. And that is literally the only way. And we believe, like, when you come into our office, I do not believe that I'm the one doing the healing, right? When people are like, oh, Dr. Serena's my healer. It's like, no. I'm the healing facilitator. Yeah, I'm the healing facilitator, right? I'm just removing interference so that your body can adapt and heal the way God designed it to, right? Like, you're doing the healing, you and God. And I'm just over here removing interference. And I promise y'all, I'm training all the time to be an excellent chiropractor, but
not that good.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like, well, I hope that was the one.
We'll try again next time.
Yeah. Good thing I see you tomorrow.
So just know you all do have very human doctors who are doing our very best and have Jesus on our side. So
for real. All right. I feel like that was our prayer. Amen.
We'll see you next time.
Okay. So we have been dropping little breadcrumbs about our upcoming episodes. And the next episode that's going to be out is how chiropractic changes the brain. And that's really exciting because that is the foundation of what we're doing for most of our kids with ADHD, autism, anxiety, depression. Well, in the nervous system, the brain controls every cell organ system in our body. So if we can get it online and functioning optimally, the sky's the limit. And so we'll be diving into the science behind how that happens because it's really fun.
We'll see you then.
Thank you for joining us on Motherhood, Aligned and Assigned.
We hope today's episode helped you connect the dots in your family's health journey.
Remember, this is where nervous system health meets motherhood wisdom.
Until next time, we're Dr. Veronica Schiltz
and Dr. Serena Coffman, supporting you as you nurture your family's well-being.
Because when you're aligned, everyone thrives.